Yeah, come back up. Come back up. No, I swear to God, I won't do it again. I swear. I won't. I promise. I won't. Okay, never mind.
Warning shots. I mean, if they were trying to hit.
You need to beat this bear.
I am baking. I got eggs and some pancakes and some bacon. Oh, we gotta happy feet this. What was that? Okay, moment over. Yo! Yo!
Just threw the X at his face.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OPSEAT video podcast. I'm your host, tribulation, social media manager for OPSEAT and Twitch partner. We created this podcast to introduce you to successful gamers who have used various strategies to build personal brands and make profit in video games. Everything you see is going to be broken down into a full audio for a podcast and edited up for a cool montage like Premiere that will be streamed weekly on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you enjoy your live streams or podcasts. Today, we are joined by Twitch partner, CyBplaysgames.
What's up?
Thank you so much for joining us. So we're about halfway through 2019. How have things been going for you?
Good actually so far. A lot of not only streaming, but realizing what needs to be done outside of the stream and just taking time off from streaming every single day to now streaming maybe 4 or 5 times a week. I went from like streaming 10 hours a day to now 4 to 5 hours a day, giving me that downtime to send out emails and try to open up these opportunities that so many streamers are trying to get. But I realize now you just can't stream every day and hope that, oh, maybe this opportunity will fall in my lap. It's a lot of going out there and trying to grab it. So that's what I've been doing this year, is like going out and trying to grab these opportunities. And it's been working out. It's been working out, man. I really am hopeful for the end of 2019 and the start of 2020 and where our community is going to go, and the growth from a lot of just different sponsors and going to these conventions. I've been doing a lot, man. I've been getting out of my comfort zone a lot this year. It's crazy, but I've been enjoying it. I definitely been enjoying it.
And that sounds amazing. It sounds like you're really focusing on, what a lot of people should be following, quality over quantity, kind of creating opportunities and not just waiting for them to come, just like you said. And
Definitely.
Just for those who might not know, what your channel about, what you're about, if you wouldn't mind, letting us know what most people might recognize you for, or what some of the content you create is.
Well, some people might know me from Ark. Hey, what's up? I play a lot of survival games, and I'm one of the only streamers of color that will stream survival games, official PvP. I don't do like private servers, so I get stream sniped a lot. I see a lot of hate, and the whole time I remain positive and I try to kill people with kindness. And that's where I think a lot of people come into my stream from knowing me from Ark or Rust. Hey, I've stream sniped you. I'm like, yeah, you did, man. What's up? But it's fun. It's definitely hard to build a community that's family friendly and stream games that have so much hate in them, like Rust or Ark. And I do it. It's fun to me. I do it.
That's incredible, and I respect you so much for that. I've personally played Ark, and some of those games, they can kind of get the toxic branding,
Definitely, man. Especially when people know you're streaming live, and oh, he's standing here by a lake and he's playing in a regular server. I'm gonna go in with my 6 dragons.
And I only ever played the PvE servers, so for those who might be listening, could you kind of explain what the PvP servers are like compared to, Apex? Because I know you streamed Apex and things like that.
Oh,
but
Apex, some Fortnite also. Survival games are a lot different. One of the biggest things with PvP is that it's player versus player. So when you go into these lobbies, if at any time you're playing Drew and you don't like me, you can kill me and take all my stuff. You can find out where I live and destroy my base. You can go inside and take all my gear, all my resources that I've spent hours gathering. If I'm taming a T-Rex and he's knocked out and I'm feeding him meat, you can run up and kill that T-Rex. And that for me is like, dang, I spent 14 hours just doing this and you came up and killed it in less than 2 minutes, you know? But PvP is a lot of not only surviving, but having to deal with other players, because it's like Game of Thrones. I'm the king of the North. I'm the king of the North. And now everybody's going to war, and it just ends it. It's fun to see and watch and be a part of, but at the same time, you're sad, like, oh, all my stuff is gone. Like, they burned everything, they blew up everything. Now I have nothing, and I have to start over from scratch. So it definitely takes a lot more to restraint to not go in there and be cursing people out and trying to do this, resort to the same tactics that other people. Yeah, it's hard though, but it's fun. It is fun.
I couldn't imagine. Or just like, what's nice about, you've spent, probably hundreds of hours playing Ark, and luckily you have that amazing knowledge piece, which kind of gives you a leg up.
Yeah.
But I mean, for streaming games like survival games like Ark or Rust, were those games that you originally were fascinated from the beginning, or what kind of got your start in video games?
Well, what started me off in streaming was disability. I was disabled. My cardiologist placed me on disability for a year. And at that time, my daughter was 2 turning 3. And I used to play a lot of like 2K, and I didn't know about survival games, Skyrim, games, Red Dead, Portal. And I got Minecraft. I was like, I'm gonna sit down and play Minecraft with my daughter. We're gonna learn together, father and daughter. And I didn't know how to play. I was like, yo, this game is immense. There's so much going on. It's just not all related, like everybody thinks, like, oh, it's so easy. I'm like, no, it's actually a really in-depth survival game. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna press this share button on my PlayStation. I started on my couch, streaming with my daughter. And I didn't even know what Twitch was at that time. I just was like, yo, I'm on PlayStation Live. Hopefully I can get some other PlayStation viewers to come in and help me out and help me be good at this game with my daughter. And 6 months down the road, I found out I was a Twitch streamer, and I was like, yo, I got to create a new account, because I was streaming under those accounts. It's like, I like farts. I one of those accounts, and when I find out what it was like, oh man, I got to switch this up. I got to be serious about it. So I created my CyBplaysgames, and I started streaming Minecraft, and we just grew, and that opened that door for survival games for me. And from there, I went to 7 Days to Die, then Ark, and we've just slowly progressed throughout the years playing survival games. It definitely wasn't my plan to be a streamer. I didn't even know what Twitch was. This was 4 years ago, man. Like right when Amazon bought out Justin and changed it to Twitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of information. I used to Google a lot, man. Like, oh man, what is this? Like, what is streaming? Then I found out, oh, you can do it better on a PC. You can have your overlays. And fortunately, there was another streamer who was partnered, who still is, who liked my stream and bought me my entire setup. So gave me the opportunity to transition from streaming on my couch in a tank top to, okay, now I'm streaming on PC the right way. And here we are now, 3 years later.
That's incredible. And, coming from, games like 2K, to Minecraft and stuff, like 7 Days to Die was an amazing game. That was one of my favorite games to play for a long time. And I just recently picked up Minecraft, and I know that probably all, was there ever a point where you felt like your daughter was better at Minecraft than you were?
Since day one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Kids, they retain a lot of information, and they get it quick. And I'm sitting there like, my daughter, she walks up like, Dad, all you got to do is redstone. She was building elevators out of redstone. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even know stuff moved in Minecraft. I didn't know blocks moved. And yeah, she taught me a lot too. And I was one of those people that was like, I'm never going to go to YouTube I want to figure it out on my own. Drew, you're the same way. Like I grew up playing Legend of Zelda, where it's like, yo, you got no there was no, here you go, here's a walkthrough, here's a YouTube video to teach you how to play. It was like, get in there and play and beat the game. Hope, good luck. And so I was one of those players. But my daughter, she helped me out a ton, man. She's smart. She is
That's incredible. And you know, I'm actually like ecstatic that like you turned, you know, one of these hurdles, you know, you were placed on disability, and you turned it into like this huge, you know, basically empire of community between, you know, remaining positive through ARC and, you know, Rust and stuff like that, which is amazingly cool. You don't see a lot of that on Twitch. So
yeah, you don't. I've noticed that too. Like a lot of people, I do understand. Like one thing with streaming or just life in general is you definitely have to be open to change, and the people that aren't open are the ones that are complacent, and they think that everything that they're doing is the right way of doing it. But I realize there are always missed opportunities and always opportunities to grow and change for the better. Most people look at change and they're like, oh, he's changed up, he's different now. And for me, I'm like, no, I've changed for the better. And family-friendly streaming is definitely something that is unorthodox, especially streaming the games that I stream. But it works. I tell people you can be yourself, and at the end of the day, people will either gravitate towards your good energy and your positive energy, or they will separate themselves from it. And at the end of the day, you don't want those people in your community anyway. You're building a community that's a reflection of yourself. And it took me a while to figure that out. But now that I know that, I'm like, nobody can tell me anything. I'm going to do the same thing that I want to do. I'm going to play what I want to play. And I'm going to have fun the way that I want to have fun. And it's been working out, man. But it is weird.
Yeah.
Weird. You're playing, someone runs up to you and they're butt naked, and you're like, no. It's weird.
That is one funny thing about both Arc and Rust. But like, I think something with the Twitch platform, a lot these days is how to create your own self-identity and kind of like stick to who you are. So it's amazing that you are, you know, I can see it, you know, as I'm talking to you and hear it, that like you're able to be proud of the content that you produce. And, you know, it's nice to be able to be, you know, especially with your daughter, as that was one of the, like the grassroots moments of, you know, you starting streaming and playing games was to, you know, hang out with your daughter. It's nice that she's able to watch your content and be proud of what you do as well. So that's really cool. Not a lot of people on Twitch can do that. And it sounds like you've really nailed, you know, the self-identity thing that a lot of streamers and content creators can struggle with.
Yeah, I know I get a lot of questions from new streamers, and that's the biggest question is, how do I grow? And it's like, if everyone just realized that what makes you is what separates you from everyone else doing it, just focus on being yourself. That honestly is what's going to make you grow. And so I talk to myself a lot, you know, and it's like, I'm going to be that same person on stream. I'm going to randomly sometimes be like, yo, that just reminds me of a time when I was younger and my brothers were getting a whooping and I was in the other room just huh? You know, and I tell those kind of stories because at the end of the day, people that can relate to those stories, they want to be a part of the community. And that's the type of community that I want to build. I don't want to have a disconnect between anyone in my community, and everyone knows they can hit me up, you know, and I'll try to hit them back up, you know, and that's kind of the community that we've built. But I know a lot of, like you said, a lot of new streamers and some even that have been doing it for years, man, they struggle with it because they don't realize like you're your own person. Just be that, you know, and maximize on that.
And I think above all is just to be able to enjoy your own content. And if you're your own person, you can watch your own stuff. Yeah.
It's funny because I watch my own streams and I'm like, yo, I'm stupid. And I that too. I'm like, do you watch your own streams? And you'll be surprised how many streamers don't watch their own content. And it's like, you're your own worst critic. But man, when I used to watch my own streams back and I would cringe, that's how I knew like, this sucks. I'm cringing. I'm like, this isn't even something that I personally would watch, and I'm streaming it, you know? And so when I started looking at it like that, like, okay, let me start creating content that I myself would want to watch, you know? Let me put myself in my own shoes, you know? It's hard to do that for some people. But you know how they say, what do they say? Practice makes perfect. That's a lie. because you could be practicing something the wrong way and then you only perfect the wrong way of doing it. So it's like, no, find out the best way of doing it for yourself and then perfect that. And that's kind of what I do or try to do every day.
Yeah,
It's
you can't be like treating yourself to like bad habits every day, or you probably never grow above it. And
take 3 shots before the stream.
there you go.
That was an awesome stream. You're like,
yeah.
No,
You're like, I loved it.
Yeah, I love this. Stream,
yeah,
man. I'm awesome.
So, just out of curiosity, like my own personal curiosity, what would you say was like the biggest change you've made from your first stream to where you are now? Like, what's your proudest achievement from your first stream to now?
Honestly, I would say I'm most proud of where we're at right now, where our community is. If you come into my stream now with any negativity, I've always spoken like, hey, if there's any negativity, we got to cut it out. And it's so funny. If you come in like, oh, I'm going through this, you'll have somebody else come out like, okay, you need to think about this instead. Like, what'd you eat today? You know, trying to switch the subject and just bring it back to a positive. And I think for me, the proudest thing that I'm most proud of that accomplishment. Like, we built this community that truly is a positive community down to the first follower. And it goes a long way. It really does. And it makes it so like, it's like, yo, even if I'm not making money from streaming, which I'm not, but it's like, I have this community and I want to get back on. I want to keep streaming just for them. And
Yeah.
I think that's like mission accomplished for every streamer, like any streamer. If you build a community, like, you know, that's the way that you wanted it to turn out. You're like, yo, oh, damn, my community. That's how it is for me, man.
That right there is certainly something to be extremely proud of. You know, just a community that engages in positive reinforcement. There's not enough of that. A lot of people say there's like too much of it, but the only reason why, you know, there's not enough. And I think just celebrating people's, you know, small victories and stuff goes a long way. And having a chat and community like that helps probably a lot more people than you know, want to realize.
Yes, man. I've opened up a lot of DMs from people that are going through stuff. Parents passing away, car crashes, car accidents. One of my followers is now in the hospital in a wheelchair and is going to be that for the rest of his life. And it's awesome when I know that we have such a positive impact on their lives that they wake up and they're like, Cy's on, Nerd Army's here. That's where I'm going to be all day. That's like mission accomplished, man. Like, yeah, that's, to me, I'm about to cry, but that's seriously like one of the that's one of the biggest things for me. When I find out that I like make a positive impact on someone's life and they take it and they change their lives, man, just for me trying to change my life. And it's crazy. It is
that's
crazy.
something to be proud of. And I'm so happy you were able to build a community like that, because there's not enough of that. And I'm proud of you. I'm here for a podcast with you, but like it's incredible work that you're doing, and you know, we're happy to be able to recognize that with you.
Thanks,
and I hope
man.
you recognize it, and I'm glad you do. So kind of like when you first started streaming, was it always just you wanted to build the positive community and hope something comes out of it, or when you started streaming, was it more of like kind of like a tactful business decision?
Well, I personally, I don't curse.
Yeah.
When my daughter was born, I was 20, and being a father, man, to a daughter, it changes you. And at that time I was partying. I was doing everything that everybody does at 20 years old, you know, and I found out I was having a little girl, man, and I was like, okay, click, stop, turn off this rap music. She can hear this. She can hear this, you know, turn on Bob Marley, you know, and I just stopped cursing, and it just became habit, you know, after like not cursing for like 3 or 4 years, it just became a part of me, and it became eventually who I am today. And when I started streaming, I was like, I'm just going to stream the same way. But when I first started streaming, I used to allow the negativity, and I used to allow the hate, and I used to allow the racism. And I would kill them with kindness still, but then when I eventually realized like, okay, I need to cut this out. Like forget this person watching me. They can still watch from ban mode, you know, and
Yeah.
yeah, I started just, I guess, becoming more less reserved. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna allow this. And that's when we really started growing. But from the start of it all, I had my daughter on my lap, you know, like streaming Minecraft with her. It's like, why this hate? We're playing Minecraft, bro. Why are you coming in here and you're talking about my daughter that's only 4 years old? You know, like what's up with that, bro? And it sucks that people are like, yo, it's just the internet. I'm like, no, these are people's true colors and who they really are as a person. And I'm not gonna allow that in my chat. It's real world. I was like, it's still IRL.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool you're able to, you know, keep your community the way it is and just, you know, blossom with all the positivity and like just even be able to provide a distraction that doesn't encourage any of that is truly important on the platform.
And there's a huge misconception too, like, oh, you're playing Minecraft, you're playing Ark. Like most of the people watching this anyway are kids. I'm like, most of them are actually adults watching with their kids, you know, and it's like, why not be a positive influence on these like 11, 12, 13-year-olds lives, you know? And so, yeah, but it is hard, man. It definitely is. I think about it all the time. Like, man, I wonder how, what would change, what would be different right now if I would have resorted. Cause Summit 1G is one of my favorite streamers.
Yeah.
When I first started streaming, I used to watch him a lot on Justin. And I seriously was one of those streamers that was like, if I want to be successful, this is who I need to be. And it was such a fail, man. I'm like, yeah, luckily I didn't do that. Cause it's like, you know, I'm better off being myself and standing out from everyone else that's trying to be a carbon copy of someone else. Yeah.
And through all of this, through the years and years of streaming, you've built this audience. And would you say your audience ever kind of like dictates the games that you stream or kind of like what directory you're in?
Yeah, they definitely do. They know they do. I do variety streaming now. So I used to stream, you know, one game for a year straight. And when I played GTA, we used to work with Rockstar and stuff. And they used to have me playing with rappers and all that stuff. It was pretty fun. But when I started doing variety, I found out how much of my community were just there for the game. And when I found that out, I was like, okay, well, if you guys are here, then y'all are the ones that are going to help us grow and get to that point of where we need to be. So what do y'all want to play? You know, and it's funny because a lot of them, they just love survival games. So they're like, oh, play 7 Days, play Ark, play The Forest, play Rust. You know, it's all like in the same genre. So it's like an easy switch. But sometimes they're like, you playing Pokemon? And I'm like, we playing Pokemon, man. Or, you know, you come in and on Saturdays is our random game day. So you might see Goat Simulator, I Am Bread, just some weird stuff that you're like, huh? But it's from them. It's like, it's all a nerd army. They vote. Every week we do a vote and they vote on what game we're going to play on random game day. And if it's a game that they really enjoy, we'll try to, you know, put it into our main game Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. And so they're like, okay, if we can just get Cy on this game, and if he likes it, and if we all like it, he'll make it his main game. Cuphead. Oh my gosh.
Oh, how did you like Cuphead?
I hated it, man. I broke my controller playing Cuphead. Like I threw it on the floor, broke the joystick, and was like, luckily I don't have to play this no more because you need a joystick.
You're not the first one to break a controller in that game. That's
they like seeing. It's funny because people like seeing you like die and struggle. They love Sekiro. I was like, dude, I died 467 times and only got to like the 7th boss.
That's
and they're like,
about...
keep playing inside, yeah. I'm like, dude,
there's only like a certain mental capacity that you have. There's so many PogChamps and lols you can have in your Twitch chat, you know, where like people are just like, wow, he's angry. This is funny. I broke a controller with Sekiro.
Yeah, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I was using this controller for Sekiro. They wanted me to
use. How did you do that?
467 deaths. And then I die. And then I don't even play it anymore. I'm like, I'm not playing because they want me to play on this. I'm like, y'all, you want me to play on a controller with no right joystick? That makes no sense. But they're like, yes, it does. Keep play it, Cy.
You just gained that much more respect from me. Like, I couldn't even imagine. That's on like no.
It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't do that.
This one right here is like your camera. And so you're like trying to rotate the camera like that while fighting a boss. It's like, dude, why?
I had died 100 times to the first, like, there was a troll who was chained up before he even had a boss. I died. No, I was 200 deaths in, I think. I was bad at Skiro.
I was 100 and something because when I fought him, someone told me, Cy, you can go back and upgrade your prosthetic. And I was like, what? This whole time y'all let me die, and now you're telling me I can go back? So I finally went back and beat him. But
you're one of the only other people I knew who like wasn't. I was not aware that you had like a whole tutorial section with like its own first boss to like get your firecrackers. I had no idea that like little ox who had like the burning hay on it. Yeah. No firecrackers. They didn't tell me until after that. I feel for you.
I love my community. You guys are dope.
Sounds amazing. And I've seen you like jump into like, obviously I was researching your channel and looking through everything, and I've seen you do a lot of variety, including like Twitch Sings lately. How's that been?
Twitch Sings is very fun, actually. It's different, but it's such a really cool way of engaging with your community.
Yeah.
And finding out what everybody likes, just from music. I feel like we all can connect with just music, and that's one of the best ways of connecting is like, okay, what do you guys want to listen to, and just seeing everybody in the chat, sing this song. And I'll sometimes like put on outfits and wear costumes, and it's really great. And then I play guitar also, so yeah, I've started realizing like, dang, a lot of people in my community like Johnny Cash and like John Denver and the same artists that I like, and it just brings us closer together. I have like 300 and something duets open if you ever want to.
That's crazy. Twitch. Or even outside of Twitch Sings, like it was really, really cool. You were singing a song in a bacon outfit. I'm probably going to have to link the clip.
Oh,
you have the Go XLR with the auto tune?
I'm feeling like I'm bacon.
Yep. That was one of my favorite things I stumbled across while I was looking at everything for the podcast, and that made me laugh and smile. So that was like one of my favorite things I was able to stun. Like that was really cool.
That was funny. Yeah, that was just like a totally random day. So I was wearing bacon, and then that instrumental came on, and I was like, "Oh man, this is perfect." Oh man, that's funny. Oh,
and then
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna, I was curious as to like with all the games that you streamed, between Twitch Sings, Red Dead Redemption, even, back in the days, H1Z1 and Ark and 7 Days to Die. Which one was your favorite?
Oof, that is a great question. Man, out of all the years, I had the most fun playing GTA. But that was a main game. I played that every day for a year. But we used to do car shows, and I used to create my own content. And people would come in like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is snipers versus stunners. I just made this, and good luck." And well, I won't say that. Out of all the variety games streamed, I would definitely have to say H1Z1. H1Z1, when that game dropped on console, PS4. Oh man, that was the first BR game on console. And Fortnite was, but that came out shortly after Fortnite. That game to me was like, yo, this is so arcade and so fun. Running people over and hopping out of the car with a shotgun. Like, dude, oh man, I love that. We had so much fun playing that game, man. Oh, that game was awesome. I loved H1Z1. Yeah, that definitely.
That was an amazing game. I spent probably hundreds of hours playing it, even on PC and a little bit on the PS4.
I got on PC, actually. That playing on console made me get on PC and try out PC. I couldn't hang. Oh, my gosh. I couldn't hang at all. But yeah, I was like, dang. But it was still fun.
And then that kind of brings me into my next question, where Some games are, you know, they have very high promises, and you're like, I'm waiting for this game. I want it to do extremely well on Twitch. I want to do this stream. I want it to blow up. Are there any games that you played that wish had a bigger presence on Twitch, similar to H1Z1?
There are a lot of games. I can name a couple right now. Darwin Project, Radical Heights, which is another BR. That one was fun, man. And I was like, it's different, it's fun, and it's unfortunate it didn't grow. Pixark. I've played a lot of games that I've been like, yo, this is gonna be the one. And then it hasn't been. And I'm like, oh man, but I love it so much. But it's like there's that line when you're a streamer of like, okay, this is what I love to play versus what's popular. Because at the end of the day, you want to grow your community and kind of have new eyes come in and watch. And it's hard to do that when it's like, oh man, I'm playing Darwin Project. And that game was awesome, man. I love Darwin Project. I played it every day. Same with Pixark. Same with oh man, I'm trying to think of another. 7 Days to Die. Even 7 Days to Die.
That one was amazing.
Bro, that game is amazing, man. Especially when they came out with that A16 update where they introduced the skyscrapers, and now it was like a whole different game. You could go into these skyscrapers, and I was like, yo, this is amazing. And it just unfortunately is, man. That's the only thing about Twitch that I struggle with is like, man, these games are like awesome, but they don't really have communities on Twitch. So I got to kind of put them on the back burner. And then it's funny because then a year later they blow up. Somebody comes in like,
hey man, have you been playing Darwin Project?
I've been playing it for a year, man.
Where you been? No.
Where were you? Where were you? Same with Dauntless. Dauntless is kind of blowing up now because it's free. And people are coming in like, oh, you just started playing Dauntless? I'm like, I played Dauntless last year, like for 6 months straight.
Yeah. That was one of the games I was most excited for 2 years ago at PAX South. They were doing like the beta testing and everything, but
Dauntless?
Yeah, Dauntless was a fun game.
I was in those
Monster Hunter came out,
Or Monster Hunter, and I tell people that too. Like, yo, before we were waiting on Monster Hunter, which I think came out January 26th, we were playing Dauntless. Like, we were playing it, waiting on Monster Hunter, and I liked it. Like, I was like, I liked Dauntless. Now it's blowing up again, so people are like, oh, Cy, you're playing it now too? I'm like, we've been playing it, you know? Yeah. Hang on, it's hot in these rhinos. Let me turn on my fan.
You're good.
It's like Sunday service in church right now. All right.
You're fine. And then just out of curiosity, for all these games and everything, did you ever see yourself getting to where you're at now?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did not at all. This was this is very surreal to me. I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm streaming today. Like it's still unreal to wake up and not have to go to work. And I'm very fortunate because I remember a couple of years ago, I tried to get a job at Circle K, and being disabled, I had to take the form to my cardiologist, have him sign off on it and all that. He's like, you can't work at Circle K. I'm like, I can't even work at a gas station. He's like, you can work at a call center. I'm like, I don't want to work at a call center. I want to do this, so I could stream, at the same time and, make that income. And I'm very fortunate to be that this door opened up for me when it did, because I don't know what I would be doing right now if not for streaming and the support from a lot of people in the community. But I never once thought that I would still be doing this 4 years later, going to conventions. I only go to conventions from the community. They're like, Cy, we want you to go here. And they get me to go, and they've got, man, it's a lot of first time experiences from streaming. I'd never been past Arizona. I'm from California, but I'd never been past. And just this past year, they're like, Cy, you never been on the past Arizona? I'm like, nah. Okay, boom, we're gonna pay for you to go to PAX. And I was like, yo, so it was my first time in Boston, and Boston
was great. and going to conventions is absolutely incredible. And I know you've recently been, PAX East. You're going to be looking to go to PAX West, but you were recently at E3.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your trip in E3? Like, this was last weekend, How was E3 for you?
Was amazing. E3, I've been to TwitchCon, twice now? E3, hands down, by far, is the convention that you want to go to for opportunities. I went and I had appointments with Dying Light and Cyberpunk, and they sat down with me and we discussed opportunities, streaming backpack opportunities. It was, I didn't unfortunately get to go on the floor and experience like what was out on the floor. Besides, I saw Fortnite. That mess was crazy. But
they had a massive booth. Yeah.
Dude, crazy. I was like, yo, they had the whole like back end of the convention center. I was like, dude, they had a game show, man. I was like, yo, this is crazy that they're doing it like this. But it was amazing, man. It was very similar to TwitchCon. Just people that were there everybody that was there wasn't a streamer or someone that knows a streamer or therefore a streamer. It's like you were just meeting regular people, man, and just building genuine connections with regular people. And it was fun. It was really dope. There's a lot of stuff going on now in the works behind the scenes that was not happening before E3. And now I'm like, yo, I'm hopeful for the future now because E3.
And that's incredible. It sounds like a lot of doors are opening up for you. And kind of just out of our own curiosity and everything, when did you see the first door open and your community kind of like welcomed you in to where this could be, what you do as an entertainer or content creator? Was there ever a moment or a period of time where like, this is what I'm about to be doing?
It was shortly after I got partnered on Twitch. When I was partnered, I realized quickly, like, okay, even though I'm partnered, money's not just going to start rolling in. Because the day we got partnered, we hit, 150 subs or something like that. Which, yeah, that's awesome. But I'm like, yo, that's not paying rent. So I realized, like, okay, I'm going to still need to put in a lot of work behind the scenes. So shortly after that, I'm still sitting on my couch, gaming on my PS4, streaming straight from PS4. And there was another partnered streamer. His name was Banlish. He played a lot of 7 Days to Die and Ark, and he just I guess he would lurk in my streams a lot, and he loved our community. And he found out I didn't have a PC, and so him and his community custom built my entire setup, my desk, my voice changer, my everything, my PC monitors, everything, capture card, and I got this on Christmas Day. It's still on it's a clip on YouTube somewhere. I opened it up on Christmas Day and was like, what's in this box? And it was a PC, man. Busted out in tears. Like, what? I never had a computer, man. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And that right there is when I feel like that was the big like confirming moment for me. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a full-time streamer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create awesome content. And it was all thanks to them. It's amazing, man. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I sit down every day, man, green screen, everything. I'm like, yo, this is a whole setup. And I only have it because of being who I am, and trying to surround people with positivity. And it's weird, but it validates, like, good energy attracts good energy, man.
Mm-hmm. And that is so very well deserved. And it's really cool to see that you've taken the opportunity that they've given you and you're just running with it. Which is something I think a lot of the listeners might be, unaware of, is that there are opportunities and you have to be ready to run with it. So it's really cool to, be able to talk to somebody who's just sprinting and going for it. It's really cool.
Yep. A lot of people think too, like, oh, it's better to pace yourself. But I've been, out of all the time I've been doing this, I realize now that, yeah, it's a lot of, okay, this is where I want to be. I have to sprint. Because, especially when you realize how many people are trying to do it now. It's similar to YouTube, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna upload this video on YouTube, but by the time you upload it, there's 20 other videos, the same video. So it's like, okay, in this industry, it's like, okay, I got this idea. I need to go and I need to maximize on this right now. And that's what I'm doing this year. Is like I've been doing a lot of that. Like, okay, I have these ideas and just things in the works, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be the first person to do this. I'm gonna be the first person to do these type of streams that will be coming out in a couple months. And it's a lot of sprinting.
That's awesome. Truly, truly. And just kind of, realizing that you need to be, sprinting and maximizing on your opportunities. What is your current thought on, Twitch as a platform? Do you think it's easy to stream on Twitch? Do you find it very hard to stream on Twitch? For those who kind of have an inkling to do what you do.
I feel that as long as you focus on your, like, what makes you, and you go in showing people your personality, eventually people will gravitate towards that. They'll follow you for you, not for the game or whatever. But all in all, yeah, it's hard to stream on Twitch. It's hard to grow. I'm a partnered streamer, and even for us, it's hard to grow. And that's just simply because Twitch is growing, and Twitch is becoming a platform that people want to be a part of and do it on their own. But it's a lot of people doing it. So same with YouTube, where on YouTube, you can upload a video and potentially make some money from it. The chances are it's going to be hard to do that just based off of the, not oversaturation, but just the amount of people that are also trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming is a lot of it is, we're entrepreneurs, man. We are going into business for ourselves. We're trying to build up our own businesses. We're business starters. And it's the same as if you went across the street right now and seen 10 liquor stores, you're probably only hitting up your one liquor store because you know all the guys in that liquor store. You're not hitting up these other 9. And that's kind of how streaming is. It's like, okay, you're doing this, but there are millions, thousands of other people doing the same thing. And yeah, it's hard, man. I love Twitch, and I right now don't see myself like moving to another platform. But even for myself, I struggle every day, man. Every stream I struggle with, okay, we just dropped 100 subs, and oh man, that's huge when you come back, and it's kind of discouraging. I went to E3 like, okay, I got all these other opportunities in the bag, like we're gonna grow, and then I come back and it's like, dang, we just dropped 130 subs. Mm-hmm. And it is hard, man, especially when you're trying to pay your rent from it, and you see that number up there, you're like, but all you can do is just keep doing you and trying to grow. Yeah. Man, I think about this all the time, and I'm like, dang, like if I would have started years, at least a year earlier, mm-hmm. I'd be one of the, biggest streamers on Twitch. But it's like, man, I understand now that it's like, I can't stream as a carbon copy to someone else. I really do have to focus on streaming and letting my personality shine through my streams. That's what's going to have people come back. And I don't stream and hope, no one should be doing this. Don't ever stream and hope, I hope I'm going to get hosted. I hope I'm going to get rated. Or don't ever stream and talk to people with ulterior motives like, oh, I'm only going to get to know this guy because I hope he hosts me. He's bigger than me. So if I get to know him and we become friends, he'll host me. It really doesn't happen like that. And eventually people see that.
Yeah. But that's one thing on the platform is like that kind of like the false support structure. Yeah. And I think one thing that you're kind of like hitting on really heavy, like hitting the nail on the head is try not to support other people, just like hoping it comes back to you, but be prepared and like have a system set up to, properly take advantage of the opportunities given to you is really what it is.
And I've only learned that from going to conventions. When I went to TwitchCon the first time, I just like people. I like to talk to people. And when I went to TwitchCon the first time, I learned that everybody walks up to you with business cards. Hey, man, they will seriously, you'll be having a conversation with 10 other people. They will see your partner's badge and walk into the middle of your conversation just to hand out their business cards. Like, here you guys go, follow me. And I never take business cards, and I learn, and I get more opportunities. And someone told me just the other day, they're like, Cy, it's because you when you go to these conventions, you genuinely connect with people. and you're not there for, you're not only talking to me because you know who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that is true. I don't know anybody. I'm seriously, like when I met Andy Milanakis, I was like, I didn't even know who that was. I was like, yo, he looks familiar. So I was like, that's Andy. I'm like, I had to Google him. I'm like, okay, I didn't know who that was. But by the time I finally Googled him, I had already had a conversation with him, and we talked for like 25 minutes about just life. And he's like, yo, man, here's my information. Hit me up. And I hit him up, I used to give him codes and stuff for all these games and set up servers for him and stuff. And just when we were at E3, I stayed right down the street from one night where he was eating. He found out I was down the street. He's like, come through, man. So I went over and had a chill with him for like 30 minutes, just chilling, talking about nothing. But those are the connections right there you have to focus on, is just genuinely connecting with people, because people like myself, and I'm pretty sure you're the same way, Drew. You've been in the game for a long time, so you probably can see when people approach you and have those ulterior motives.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely can pick it. I pick it up instantly, like, okay. But it's a lot of that goes on. So now I just focus now, just like I said, man, just being yourself. And it's funny because if you're yourself, like, you'll go and talk to people about real life and make that personal connection with someone as they're making that business connection. And most of the time they'll be like, what do you do? That's mission accomplished. They'll be like, what do you do? After all this personal talking, they're talking, they're about to get into business. They are talking to you now. So what do you do? Oh, you stream? Oh, I work for this company. Here's my card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. So that's right now. That's like my end. That's like my goal now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just be myself and try to get people to be like, so what do you do? Yeah, that's like, okay, I know where this is going.
That's an amazing tip, especially for those who are watching the podcast. By the time this gets released, TwitchCon tickets would have been out for about a week now. So, kind of a question: are you going to TwitchCon this year?
I'm going to TwitchCon this year. I'll actually be doing a panel. I'll have a meetup panel, and then I'll be doing another panel about actually being a smaller streamer and trying to focus on entertaining and growing your community. So yeah, I'll be doing that too. But yeah, I'll be there, man.
Incredible. I'll see you there, and I'll make sure to come and find you. And you know,
yeah,
there'll be a drink on me, easy peasy. Yeah. But then, you know, I'm kind of curious, for all these people that are going to the conventions, or all these people that are so hungry to grow, what's, you know, one tip you could give anybody trying to do what you do?
In terms of going to a convention and wanting to grow?
Yeah.
Focus on talking to people on a person and making that personal connection with them first. It's like if somebody called you up right now and was trying to sell you something, you'd be like, no, I'm not buying it. They already told you that they're going to sell you something. But if someone called you up and were like, how's your day going? You're like, oh, good. Oh, do you work? You work full time? You have any kids? When they start to know you on that personal level, then at the end, they're like, by the way, I'm selling you something. You're more susceptible to buying it, you know, because you guys are a connection. And a lot of those conventions, I know there's that misconception, like, let me take all my business cards, let me rock a shirt with my Twitch name on the back of it. And for us, we're just like, look at this guy. What people should focus on is approach me and say, what's up, man? Like, what's up, bro? Like, how's your TwitchCon going? Like, bro, I've been walking around for 20 hours, man. Like, I slept last night for 2 hours. What'd you do last? Like, really try to get to know people. And I will come into your stream. Like, the people that approach me that way, I come back and I seriously go into their stream. I sub, like, I follow, because I like you as a person. I don't care about your stream. I like you as a person. And a lot of Twitch is about that now. It's about being yourself and being a person, not just being someone that just plays video games. Or, you know, people are like, I play Fortnite. I'm like, okay, that's cool that you play Fortnite, but I can go watch thousands of other streamers right now that play Fortnite. So what's different from you? If I go into your stream, are we gonna, you know, are you like, I don't know, it's weird, but a lot of people, man, the first thing they try to do is give you their business card or tell you about their stream. And you're like, dude, it's kind of like, I know I'm out here at TwitchCon, but I low key came out here to vacate and get away from all that. And and try to have some fun.
For me personally, you know, whether I'm working with OPSEAT or I'm there to just meet my friends, like what I'm trying to do anytime I go to the convention is like meet the people I already know. And if I happen to meet some new people, incredible. But that's how I typically do. I just want to go and hang out with everybody who's been there, you know, through thick and thin. Because being on the platform for, you know, 4 years, was there ever a moment where maybe things got a little thick and it wasn't so easy? Is there like a memorable moment where things didn't necessarily go the way you wanted?
I would say right now things are. I honestly, since I've gotten partner, things haven't been going the way that I want them to go. But those are just my own expectations. You know, like I said earlier, you're your own worst critic. You always have those high expectations of where you want to be. And I've been partner now for almost 3 years. In the first year, my goal was to hit 500 subscribers. And then, you know, the next year to slowly progress. And we still have yet to hit 500 subscribers. We have yet to hit 400 subscribers. And yeah, that definitely is something that I struggle with, because at the end of the day, I love streaming, but I can't do it for free. And it's hard when you know that people just won't. These days it's kind of hard. Back in the day, it was a lot easier. We were close to 400, and actually we were close to 500 because we broke 400. So I did see 400 briefly, and then shortly after that, there was an influx of streamers coming in from Fortnite blowing up, and I lost everybody from my community. I started realizing, like, okay, these people, some of these people were only here, you know, to try and get hosted, you know, in the future from me. Most of them were genuine and still come to the stream, but I lost a lot of community. I started getting hit up like, oh, sub for sub. Hey, Cy, I'm an affiliate now. Can you sub? And I'm like, man, I wish I could, but I can't sub to 50 people. And I started losing that sub, you know, and it's definitely been a struggle, man, because I'm like, yo, 500 subscribers is where I need to be to pay my rent and to really do this every day full time for a living. And we're barely getting to 250. And so it's like, man, you know, but you gotta stay positive, and you gotta still focus on being kind to everybody and engaging everybody. And, you know, it's like, I know that I'm not doing anything wrong. Yeah, I might have some missed opportunities that I can maximize on and you know, grow even further. But it's like, I know that the environment that I create, that's not wrong, you know. And it's hard, man, when you struggle with, okay, I need these subscribers, but it's a lot. A lot goes into it. I variety stream, so that's a reason why.
And I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of people on the other side won't necessarily realize, like, you know, it's incredible the positive impact that you make on the community. And it's one of those things that, you know, people wanting to get into it don't realize how much goes into creating that positive community and what it takes to continue it. And I hope a lot of people who, you know, listen or get to know you can kind of like see that and recognize that. Because it's not easy, but it's something that you love and you're just so good at.
You're like,
why ever stop now, you know? So it's amazing.
I'm 29
to see
now, man. So I'm like, okay, I still got some years in me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really wanted to work out, you know, especially when you have a kid, and my daughter's here all the time, and she runs in, she's doing handstands. And I'm just like, man, it's like that. I just know what opportunities can come from this. And so it's like, okay, even if I don't like, cause lately I've been like, okay, I love streaming, but I realize how hard it is these days to grow. So I'm like, okay, instead of spending all that effort and energy streaming every day for 9 hours a day, I started taking days off. So I take Sundays and Wednesdays off now, and my streams are not 10 hours anymore. They're 4 to 5 hours. And this gives me all that downtime to sit down and send out emails to that's how I got partnered with OPSEAT. And, you know, just because I was able to sit down and actually meet with Jake and Splitgate, you know, just opportunities like that I would have never had I have just been continuing to go hard every single day, stream, 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 stream. It's not just streaming. It's so much that goes into it behind the scenes. It's not just sending emails. It's not just meeting people. It's so much more that goes into streaming that will eventually get you to where you want to be. So instead of like, I used to be a streamer where I'm like on the outside looking in. I go on the Ninja stream. This dude has hundreds of thousands of viewers. And so I'm just looking like, okay, he's playing Fortnite. To somebody that's new to streaming, they'll be like, okay, he has 100,000 views and playing Fortnite. I'm going to play Fortnite. But what they don't realize, Ninja's been on for like 6 years. He's pleased to play PUBG competitively, H1Z1 competitively, Halo competitively. The dude is really good at games, you know, and people don't realize like he's been on this platform for so long and there's so much work that he put into his stream behind the scenes and so much that he's changed. Because he's been open to change so much now that he does that he didn't do years ago. And that is what brought him to where he is now. And so I realize that now, and I'm like, oh, I need to spend more time outside of the streams, like, you know, just reaching out to people and just doing more. It's not just streaming, and hoping that I hope Ninja comes in and watches me stream this, you know, it's not just that anymore. So, yeah.
It's ultimately being a content creator and finding avenues to produce more content, because you can't just recycle streams. You have to produce content is really what it comes down to. Exactly. And you're doing well. It's incredible.
As well, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. I feel like there's some stuff in the works right now that I'm really excited for, and I can't wait for like to be able to announce some of these things. But I know that I'm trying to think if there's one thing that I can talk. Yeah, I just started recently working with Amazon Game Studios for a game that they're developing. And this was an opportunity that I got after emailing them, after finding out about this game on Google. I sent them so many emails. They finally hit me up. We're like, okay, Cy, we're going to fly you out to California so you can play the game and meet the devs. And I've been out there 4 times this past year.
That's incredible. Are you working with Killy? Is it that game? If you go to PAX West, they'll see you there.
Okay.
I'm excited about that. Yeah.
PAX confirmed, yeah. And then same with Gearbox, with Borderlands 3. They flew me out last month to play Borderlands 3, and that's where I got this sick jacket. But I sent them like 20 emails, you know, something that I wouldn't have been able to do had I been just focused on streaming every single day, all day, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening, and I'm excited for the future. But like right now, I'm like, I just know I'm not where I want to be, and it just kind of it's frustrating for me sometimes because I'm like, man, yo, I can't even pay my lights. You're like, dang. I guess the goal for everybody is to pay their rent from streaming, you know. So it's like, man, that's where I want to be. But I'll get there eventually. I know we'll get there.
Especially with you know, me seeing you focusing a lot more on, you know, the quality over quantity, like we touched on earlier. These opportunities, I'm hoping just really just like break down so many doors for you. And I know just with everything that you've been using to stream and create the content you've created already, you do some fun stuff with audio and voice effects and, you know, the green screen and the whole shebang. What would you say your favorite peripheral is that you've been using to create the content that you do?
It definitely would be my voice changer. Hey, Grandma.
Baby, I'm up in here. What you need, baby? Did you eat?
I ate, Graham. Can you make me some a bologna sandwich?
I'm getting up right now, baby. Let me just put my bunion cream on. I just got to go ahead, wash my hands. I'm going to make you a bologna sandwich, baby. I love
you. I think that's like my favorite thing in the voice changer. I used to role play where I would stand in front of the mirror and come up with characters. So I have like 4 different characters just with my regular voice. And I used to do GTRP a year and a half ago before it was like as popular as it is now. And they loved it. They were like, yo, we got to get this man a voice changer. So I love this voice changer, man. That's like my favorite thing. Everything else is so hard because there's so much production that goes into it. If you want to do all that, like, oh my goodness, every key on my keyboard is a hotkey. Like every key does something on my stream, and people just on the outside looking in and like, yo, this dude, all these effects. I'm like, yo, that takes a lot of work, like to be pulling up all this stuff and also doing voices. And sometimes I'll be on the phone with myself and talking, doing voices for that. It's pretty crazy. But I love this voice changer, man. I love it.
That's incredible.
I'm looking at it right now, like, oh man.
She's like, I love you. Yeah,
I do.
But honestly, it has been the absolute pleasure of mine to have you on the OPC podcast and for you to talk with us. So where can we find you? Where can we find more information about you, and when do you stream?
You can find out. Well, first, thank you for having me. This is an amazing. We've been talking about opportunities this whole time. This right here is an amazing opportunity. And so I appreciate that. I look at I was telling you earlier, I look at every opportunity as it is, as an opportunity to grow. And so when you guys approached me, I was like, OPC? Yo, this is crazy. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm going to be on OPC. She's like, what
the hell is OPC, baby?
That's a chair. It's dope. But you can find me on Twitch. I stream every day, but Sundays and Wednesdays. Twitter. I'm on Twitter also. Instagram. It's all CyBplaysgames. So CYB plays games. YouTube also. You can find me on stream though. I love live streaming, so that's where I'm always at. But yeah, this is amazing, man. As I sit in my OPC on an OPC stream, this is crazy.
It's incredible, and I can't wait for this to air and for everybody to like be able to hear just like kind of like the light on Twitch that you are. It's really truly amazing, and I'm very happy to have met you through the OPC podcast and have you on. And thank you so much for being an OPC partner.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, OPC. You guys are dope. Drinks on me.